Hello and welcome to today's cryptocurrency technical analysis. We are going to be going through the Bitcoin chart. I'll be going through my current trading plan, what I am waiting for right now, and how we can expect this day to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing very well. You're as excited as I am for the big week ahead. Massive, massive, massive week. Obviously reaching that lovely fib time towards the end of the week, as well as now coming right down to the bottom of this Bitcoin range. Oh, you need your guts about you this week. You're going to need that confidence boost. And yeah, let's go into the charts. So I mean, what can we say, ladies and gentlemen? It really all comes down right now to being prepared. As we've said, how many times have I said, you just have to be prepared right now. If you have no plan, if you do not know what you want to do, you will lose money. So stop everything and make sure you have this plan. Make sure you know what you're looking for here to trade. E.g. myself, I've made this clear in my group, I am not interested in longing right here. I personally am waiting for a little bit lower before I get interested in long. So that's pretty easy for me right now. I'm just short and chill. And it's as simple as that. My plan is literally just stay in my short position and wait for lower. Okay. Obviously, where am I looking for? I'm looking for around this daily. And it's for me pretty clear. And this is the thing you always have to think, is it possible that we put in a higher low above this low and go up from here? Of course. I'm going to always say, of course, that's possible. But for me, it's just not a trade that I'm going to take. So, I've been saying this now for over 24 hours. I'm happy to, wait for lower, essentially. And what I will say by this one as well is I'm not presetting any longs here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not presetting any longs here, okay? So what I mean by this is, let's say if it goes, I would get in, try and get in on a market order sort of thing. I don't have any limit orders preset, and that just protects me for the case that we do something more like this and, drop down lower. If it just goes quickly through it, then it's not going to bother me because I do not have preset limit orders. I'm trading this off at a reaction, okay? So obviously what we're going to be looking for because of course we can just bounce up here, and if that's the case, hey, I missed the trade, but I'm really not bothered about it. I can just get in another trade when I see an opportunity. So it's not the end of the world, but the things that we're obviously going to be looking for here are, primarily obviously going to be looking at the volume. Obviously, you have to be looking at the delta, the open interest, and a few things that I would be looking at is obviously the size of our candles and the time and the trade counts that they're coming in at, like at the speed and the size that they're coming in at. So, it's based off of the reaction and the data that you get. So you wouldn't, I personally wouldn't anyway, just like randomly go into a trade just because it's hit the daily, let's just take a trade here. No, you kind of want to see a little bit more than that. So yeah, the best way to, I just say the way I'm approaching this, up to you whether you decide if that's the best way. The way I'm approaching this is waiting for that daily. If and when we get the daily, that's when I'll zoom into the charts, come over onto, a scalping sort of template, look at sort of the volume that we're getting on this, essentially how many aggressive sellers are we getting, and do we see signs of absorption? Do we see signs as the bigger players, which I refer to as the exchanges, are exchanges holding this? Essentially what's going on down there. For me here, this is just, I cannot really take much information from what's going on down here. E.g., I'm not going to trade. So you only want to trade when you have the best trades, And if you don't have a highly probable trade, I would say, why trade? So I'm not going to trade here. And I've been ready, patiently waiting for this. So yeah, I'm not going to now throw my plan out of the window and be like, hey, I'm going to just trade now. No, I'm pretty happy to, I don't actually hold a long position at the moment, so I'm just in shorts, and it's just like, yeah, I suppose one of two things are going to happen. We will drop lower, and then I get the opportunity for a long. Again, I'm not presetting because, hey, if we just smash straight through it, then I don't want to be caught offside. But There is obviously the second play, but maybe we do hold a low here and we do make our way back up. Well, then I think that one of the first things that you're really going to be wanting to look for, yeah, is a trend change. So you see all of this move down, all of the move down here has been with the lower highs and the lower lows. Like it's one of obviously the more simplest ways of viewing trading, just the simple trend. And it has been characterized obviously with the lower highs and lower lows, yeah? So high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And obviously I need to shout him out again. Mike gave everybody the short position, which they could very much easily have got into if you trusted him, when we obviously lost the old, we basically rejected off the daily, come back below, retested the value area high. And from there, I mean, you really could still be in the same position, really, because the whole time it's just been with the lower highs and lower lows, even on that rally that we got on the 20th. Still in the end actually made a lower high and continued down here. So I suppose this is the other factor that we could be, I would personally be saying, okay, I personally am looking for lower, but what invalidates me, what says that I'm wrong? Yeah, and this is where you have to throw ego out the window. You just have to accept and trade the charts. Yeah, I'm looking for lower. Does it mean it has to go lower? Of course not. So where would be something for me to say to myself, okay, Daniel, this does not look like it's going lower anymore. Get involved higher. Yeah, and that's okay for me, because if I get involved higher, yeah, I don't long the exact bottom, but I would say to myself, I'm longing on a bit of a sign of strength, which I think overall is a good tactic to do, because of course, unless you're a very good trader, it's pretty hard to catch bottoms perfectly. Yeah, you have to be, fairly good trader to do this. So the majority of the time, buying on a sign of strength would have, because you just have to think about how, answer honestly, how many of you have tried to buy the low of this and then, still holding on to the position now, for example, and thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to buy here. Oh, it's going to bounce. So I'll buy the dip, or whatever. But all you could just wait for that sign of strength and buy the sign of strength. Yeah. So it's like, do you want to buy weakness, e.g. a dip that could just dip and dip and dip and dip? It's like, buy the dip. Hey, what happens when all your money runs out because you didn't buy the bottom of the dip, So if you just wait for that sign of strength, and that couldn't, I think it's a good tactic. And as you can see right now, we've literally gone support into resistance, support. Let me just do this for you. I'll make it very clear. Support into resistance. Yeah, it's very, very, very clear. Here, you didn't even manage to get the retest, so a very, very weak bounce. Here, of course, you come up into your old range. If you remember this video from the other day, I was obviously talking about this one, whereas if we got acceptance into the local past range, we'll look to trade it back up to the higher range. That actually worked out pretty well, because we came up to the value area high of that range, and it obviously got rejected. So what we could be saying for right now is the next support resistance flip is obviously here. Support into resistance. So if we see acceptance above this, that will, of course, we can just look back to the past prior range. It doesn't mean we get a full-on reversal, but it does offer a long trade. Yeah, just like here for me, offered a long trade. I did take a long here. Obviously I'm not in it anymore, and I've got out of it, but that offers a long for me. If we get acceptance above or into a prior range, hey, that will be a long, and I'm happy to long a little bit higher. Like on this one, I didn't long the exact low of this move. I waited for the acceptance and then, took the long back up, So same would be for me here. I'd happily take a long higher, but obviously I'd prefer lower. I'm not in any longs at the moment. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of the way I'm approaching this right now. And then the thing is, I'm approaching this with full confidence. I'm not scared right now. I'm not fearful right now. Why would I be fearful? Why would I be scared? Like, this is going... there's just no need to be. There's just really no need to be scared. There's no need to be, if this crashes down to low $20,000, I'm not scared. I'm not fearful. If you play from a position of weakness, I think you'll get wrecked. If you play from a position of strength, if you play with this position of, hey, I know exactly what I'm doing. Even if I'm wrong on this trade, hey, I'm losing 2% of the capital, and I move on to the next trade. If you truly have your risk management locked down, if you truly have your plans on lock, and you know exactly what you're looking for, I feel you playing from such a position of strength. Most people don't do this, and that's why a lot of people lose money. But anyway, I digress, because at the end of the day, we do have this range to trade still. Obviously, this is being the low of the range. So naturally, we can look to trade this range, and if it breaks to the downside, then we look towards our next layers of support further down. And if we maintain support in the range, then we can, look back up to the high of the range. Which seems a long way away right now, but that's obviously what people have thought the last 3 times we've been down here. So, it's something to bear in mind. I think I think if you're being sensible, you would have a plan for if the range holds and we get a rotation up, and for if the range doesn't hold and we break to the downside. So you have to be prepared for, both of those scenarios. And if you are only prepared for one of those scenarios, well, you're probably going to lose money again, aren't you? Because you're not planned for the other scenario. So, yeah, that's really simply the way I'm trading this right now. I'm looking obviously for this daily region. Again, we could come down and even swing failure pattern the lowest low made at 29,800. So I think you want to look at this as a little bit of a region. But yeah, personally, I'm not buying here. Again, I'd prefer to buy lower or get interested lower. I'm not necessarily going to buy this. I'm going to wait for the data that comes in. Is there any need for me to jump into this or not? Or alternatively, if we manage to get a bit of strength, get back into prior ranges, then of course, then I get another long opportunity. It's just for me right now, it's just not what I'm looking for. And I have enough, wits about me to say, hey, this isn't what I'm looking for, I'm not going to trade. Yeah, it really is as simple as that. If you do not have your setup, do not trade. There's no point in trading just to trade. Wait for the highest probability trades, and you'll see your win rates going from 20% to 80%. So, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, quick update. Hope it's offered you some clarity, maybe some opposing thoughts, ways that you can look at getting involved in this market. Yeah, there you go. Obviously, I've given my whole plan to the champions in Sunday's champions live stream. They know exactly what I'm looking for here. The levels, should we break to the downside? Should we break to the upside? The whole range that's going on. Obviously, if you're interested in that, chartchampions.com. For everybody else, hopefully I've offered you some clarity of how you can view this, things you can look out for, should we break down, and the reactions that you're looking for the footprint chart. And if we get a market structure change, and obviously that does mean buying higher, but one would say it's buying with a bit of strength, which we have not seen throughout all of this move down. The only kind of sign of potential strength was here, but obviously then we were just rejected off the value area high of that range. You had a bearish, going a bit off topic, you also had a bearish CCV setup up here. So obviously this was a weak rally. This was a very, when you look at the volume of this, okay, so when you looked at the volume, the open interest, everything here was a very weak bounce. So when you start to recognize how to recognize weak bounces, weak volume, weak open interest, weak delta, into value area highs with rejections, into bearish CCV setups, you kind of start to understand. Okay, this is you got to be able to read the volume essentially. Anyway, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Of course, I always have to say this, not financial advice. At the end of the day, I cannot tell you what to do. You have to, maybe use some of the educational entertainment material from this video and come up with your own ideas at the end of the day. So, yeah, important legal trade disclaimer. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed. Thank you ever so much. Have a good day ahead. And, yeah, that's me signing off. I'm not going to lie. I'm very happy. I'm very excited for this week. It's one we've been waiting for a long time, and if you know, you know. So, yeah, thanks everybody. Cheers. Have a good one, and goodbye.